Yes. Viewers, listeners, people, the community, the village, which we are a part of, and you're a part of us. We sit with you as you sit with us. It's great to be back. The podcast, Conversations with C&C, session 8. We are never late.
Go ahead.
Got some food and nuggets for you. So you please go and get a plate. And after this, you can say that you never ate. I know that was very great. Yeah, we are back. Last episode of season 2. As I said, the podcast, we go by the name of Conversations with C&C. The space and place is always built on these 3 fundamental areas. It's a place of exploration, sharing lived experience where appropriate, and sharing our professional curiosity through our expertise. And we have... no, we're not even going to mention him yet. You can see him shining, but he's our guy. He's the people. He's a loved one. He's a brother, a friend, a fellow comrade, a GQ specialist. But we're gonna stop there. We're gonna stop there. I got my friend, my brother, colleague, uncle, big bro, all of that rolled in one. The good esteemed man whose name is worth more than gold, Dr. Carl. I'll let you introduce yourself to the listeners and viewers.
Yes, I hope you, first time listeners, going by the name of Carl, psychotherapist, integrative psychotherapist for many years. Thank you for that beautiful intro as always. And yes, season 2, the end. Session 8, and just a lovely process, a smooth process, not without its challenges. But having said that, it's been smooth, and it's been lovely, lovely to share this space. With both of you guys, really. You know what I mean? Even though we know G is behind the scenes, he always gives us some real good nuggets and feedback. Rich feedback that is so vital for us to come up with certain things that we have come up with, and he's been so instrumental, in us doing this. So blessings to you, brother.
Appreciate that, though.
I like what you said. It's not been without its challenges.
Yes,
it's been a bumpy road. Some elements, and then it's been smooth sailing. But we're ending well. That's that's how we always...
How we started? We started well?
Started strong. And we're ending well. Made it for the bumpy elements. But as Carl said, man, we have... there's so much... I don't know what words to use to describe our brother and friend. Many times you might have heard a voice behind the screen, behind saying... offering some feedback into the conversation. But this brother has been, as I've mentioned in the last episode, cement. Has helped to keep things together. Has opened the space for us to be here, to have this platform. Very intuitive, transparent, honest brother. From the day that we met, and to be here. So I know, like last episode I said we're gonna have a guest. I'm sorry, I lied. We have a friend and brother today, and we are in the living room. We are chilling in the living room with our brother and friend, who goes by the name of Gerald Lami, but many know him as Coach G. A man that wears many hats, so I'm not even gonna say what those hats are. I'm gonna let Coach G say what those hats are. Let him share his story. A man can rock a hat with a ponytail, several hats. A man that can do that is a true general.
Modified.
Got the Santorini grease glow. The ankles are out with the turn-ups. My brother is glowing. GQ, sign him up, snap him up. He's ready. He's ready. But yeah, we got our dear brother G, man. So thank you. I don't know if I'm saying thank you, but yeah, just great for you to be here, man.
Thank you for having me here as well. It feels a little bit surreal because I'm usually behind the camera. So to be here, it's a blessing. And to see you guys, the work that you guys have been doing, and even though I'm in a room and listening to what the conversations are being had here, when the episodes are out, I listen to it again.
Wow.
Because there'll be things that I might have just missed in the moment. Yeah. So and the work that you guys are doing is powerful. It's powerful beyond measures. When we first met as well, which I'm sure we'll dive into that. But for me, it was more so the conversations that are going to be had in this space, more than just being clients and things like that. It's more about what conversations I had here and where is it getting spread out to? What good is it going to have on the community? And that for me is the most important thing. So to see the space and to see it to come to fruition from when we first met and spoke about it to having season 1, season 2, and now me being in the chair, it's unreal, man. It's unreal. So blessings to have me here, brothers.
Wicked, man. No, amazing. I guess temperature check. Where are we at? Just in the here and now, as we sit in the living room.
Let's go over to G. G, how you?
I'll take the honors, man. I'll take that. I mean, for me, I'm excited. I'm excited. I feel refreshed. As you mentioned, Santorini, Greece.
Ricky Rose.
Ricky Rose, I had that repeat. I feel refreshed. I feel relaxed. I feel honoured to be in the space as well of, again, being in front of the camera. And for you to give me, or to allow me the space as well to sit here and, just have a brother conversation, man. I feel that we're in a day and age where these conversations aren't had enough. They're not had enough, especially in the period of time that we've just come from. Because remember, we was locked away for
a minute,
2 years, you know. And there's a lot of things that need to be unpacked, and people just getting on with their lives.
That's right.
Without even thinking, no, hold up. What was that about? You know, what was that about? So again, just being in this space and just feel blessed. Overall, feeling blessed, very blessed.
Awesome.
Yeah, like that.
That's so intuitive, you know, just to say, you know, people just getting on with it and not really clocking in, checking in. Man, it was because I know for certain quite a number of people suffered. You know,
100%.
Going down the death and despair route, but also, you know, people with their mental health and people who need to be out, and now people coming back into therapy. Like, you do in person. I can't be online. I can't do online sessions. So people needing that social interaction, that in-person experience, because of what happened to them whilst they were behind the doors.
That's
So this,
profound.
So your fingers on the pulse, brother.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. So Doc, where we at, Doc?
I'm similar to the previous session. I'm living life on one of those cliches from addiction work. You know, It's living life on life terms. Yeah.
What does that mean, Doc?
Yeah, go on.
It's accepting. It's accepting. Okay, you've done. I'm going to be speaking things into your life today, bro. So
I'm ready. Yeah. I'm ready.
So
I'm
you know
ready.
what? You know when you used to have the PD group, personal development group.
Yep.
On the level 4, you have your seminar, right? You talk about the theory. Then you have your skills.
Yes.
Get into your triads. Yeah, counselor, counselor, client, observer.
Okay.
So that's like the practice.
Yeah, the skills practice, right?
Yeah.
Or you get into a goldfish bowl where everybody watching you. And people be shaking. You know what I mean?
That's all the students.
Yeah. I like the way you.
Did you experience that?
Yeah.
Like you said, subtitles. My man breaking it down. And then you had personal development group, whereas you discuss all of those different themes as well as things going on outside as well that, you know, that's bubbling up, you know, that you bring into the group. Yeah.
And that's a space for the students. This is all students in training.
Yes. So something that you would experience, I think, at a later date.
You never know. You never know.
Call it out.
You never know.
So, you know, I say that to say that this is such a tangible experience to be sitting here today with you brothers, because it's a culmination. It's a culmination of, you know, what we've talked about. You know, you reminded me what I said to you in, you know, season 1, first day I met you, and yeah, to have you sitting here beside us, man.
Surreal.
Yeah, it is. It is surreal. It is surreal to speak to, you know, have you in front of the camera and to be able to discuss these things, you know, openly and richly. Yeah, I feel content. I feel settled in my spirit. I feel that I'm going in the right direction in my own personal practice, my own life. You know, you mentioned something in the last session, clarity. There is clarity. And with the, you know, and the word talks about the vision, and the man perishes because of a lack of a vision. Brother got a vision.
Yeah.
And can I just say quickly as well, you're definitely moving forward with that hairline, bro.
I like the way you said that.
Forward. It's not back. It's forward.
Bless you, man. Bless you. Got to hold on to the hairline, man.
Doc, what's the secret, though, man? Because I know you've had a few people on the couch and asked you for the recipe. Bro.
Yeah. You got to sell that in a bottle.
You have to, you got to. That is priceless. By your hairline. Keep it intact.
How to keep it intact?
By Doc.
Listen, man. I can't take any credit for that. It's in the DNA, man.
But you must be doing something, Doc, like in your lifestyle.
Listen, keeping it, I think, for me, it's being able to use, again, gifting that I have, and it's not coming from a place of vainglory. You know, we can, you know, I think each of us, if we could sit here and tell some war stories, you know what I mean? But it's not about that. And it's about, it's a place in where it's coming from. So I know that I have a genuine heart, and I don't, you know, I'm not doing what I do in order for there to be some reciprocity, you know, it being reciprocal. Oh, you know, we know that would be nice, but I'm not doing it for that purpose. You know, I'm not doing it to get rich, but I know that as a result of what I'm doing, the funds are coming. So it's about the attitude, isn't it? It's about the attitude. It's about, you know, how you. Yeah, and I go back to the heart. It's about what's in your heart. Because if you got to, you know, as I say, you know, I'll say it as I would say it if I was off camera. If you got a stinky heart, you can tell. You know the people who got stinky hearts, man.
100%.
And they can only hide it for so long before the realness comes out, right? Stagnant. You know, when you think about that stagnant pool, you know, stagnant pool of water, and the gnats hovering over it. Yeah. No, that can't be me, man. So if anything, I believe that helps. You know, don't get seasick by the waves. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Doc's right now, you know?
Man.
Doc.
Waveonomics. New class that you're going to teach. Today's lesson is how to... Waveonomics. Waveology. I see.
Yeah, man.
No, that's powerful.
Relax,
I think
man.
what you're saying is as well, like, from what I got is, again, the good intentions that you're pointing out there reflects on you as a person and your appearance and your aura and all of that.
That's right.
It's interesting that you said that. We had the conversation yesterday at dinner with my family, and we said the same thing where, you know, having a good intention and helping out your community and giving back, I'm not doing it to gain. I'm doing it because I know what it feels like.
And those things will come.
They will come. They will come. I definitely believe in those things, but I know how it feels to be in that position as well of not having. And when someone is there to a helping hand, and I remember to this day, you know, when people helped us, and
Beautiful,
you know,
man.
so powerful.
Yes,
You
Wavy.
see?
Where you at, Sue?
I am. So I'm in the moment. I'm in the present. So I'm present. But I'm excited again about the future. So I'm fully here. So the excitement that I feel is G's here, like he's always here, but with us in this context and this space. I'm excited about it's the ending. It's the end of season 2. Like, so though we've not said cut, finish, I'm excited that we've accomplished again. We set out what we've said we were going to do. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about the future and this conversation that we're going to have, because I think it's a really needed conversation. And I think it will speak to our demographic in a real poignant way. So I'm excited about that. Pretty chilled. I still think you didn't you did answer about what you did say was about the internal. That's what I got from what you were saying. How the internal, how when we are internally, how that impacts our external. So I got that, but I still think you're doing something, but you're keeping it. It's that mama's recipe.
Grandma's recipe.
No. I'll let you know that we might use.
I
can tell by your forward hairline, you're a forward thinker.
My guy.
See waves. Man. When you see waves, you see waves.
Wordsmith.
Oh man, but yeah. So
how did you get into that? Just the words and the love of words. Because every time I see you, you just the way you put things, the way you package it and deliver it is very artistic and easy to digest in a complicated way. There's so many things to it. Where did that love come from?
So I think first school, loved English.
Okay.
Me and my teacher had a funny relationship. Lovely lady by the name of Miss Russell, black teacher, from the Caribbean, and she would stick it on me when I was being just being silly. She'd pull me aside. She's like, "Oh, you're smart. You're intelligent. Come on, fix up, pull up your boots," type of thing. So she gave me that like tough teacher, auntie, community love. So I think I loved words from there. I think stories, we would read stories at home with my mum. But it was when I did like my sentences in prison, I would read.
Okay.
So reading would be an escape for me. But I was learning at the same time. So, and if I didn't understand the word, I'll go to the dictionary. And I think, from reading inside, so leaving school at 14, didn't do any like formal qualifications, but throughout my sentences that I did inside, fell in love even more with literature. And it would allow me, though my physical frame was in a box, it allowed me to teleport outside. So I think that's where it came. I think that's where it was harnessed, and then I just love. Then rap. That's where I started learning to rap. Was really like shook to make anyone hear what I was writing. Like, and one day, good friend from Brixton, Lambeth, was like, "Bro, let me hear your raps." And he was, nah, bro, this is. Rapped it for the pipe, and he was like, "Bro, this is good." And then, I was like, "Oh wow, this is good." If I was to ever go back, I'm sure it was trash. But that's where my love came. I think home, mum, school, reading inside, and then listening to rappers. And if I don't understand a word, I want to know what it means, because I feel locked out. I feel locked out of the conversation. Or have I missed something that was quite important? So when we are around brothers like Doc, who's verbiage and just word bank, like I'm not afraid to ask in a meeting, what does that word mean? Because I don't think that if I ask that question, it makes me look like you know, I'm uneducated. It shows that I want to learn.
Want to learn.
You're curious.
So,
Come on, man.
yeah. I love words. So
we do it every day, innit?
Yeah.
Why not learn?
I like
to
when
the
you
best
do that.
ability?
You know, I do like when you do that.
Yeah.
Because I think and it's also, I'm glad that you feel safe enough around me to ask that question as well.
Yeah.
And likewise, here's another thing, because as we did in the previous session, you know, we gave the listeners some insights into our background and you know, lived experience. Similarly, words. Don't know if you're familiar with George Jackson, one of the Black Panthers back in the day, early 70s. He wrote this book, and it was it was in those quiet times behind the door that I read that book, The Prison Letters, because he was in, was he in San Quentin?
Yeah.
And, you know, been given life for some, you know, some stupid thing that he did, but they kept, because they were Black Panthers, and because they were so smart and educated, self-taught, that they were considered too dangerous to release. Such a sad story, but I digress. But finally his brother, who he you know, his younger brother, who loved him, they went into they were in court, and it was a gunfight.
Wow.
And they didn't have the firepower to win, so it was there was bloodshed and there was death, and he died, you know, trying to free his brother.
Wow.
Powerful. Wow. So it was my background similar to yours in the context of loving words, going to the dictionary, trying to embed it in my vocabulary, and then because, you know, writing as well, something I love. And again, I had a 11th grade English teacher who encouraged, you know, me to, you know, come on, man, you can dig deep here. You know, you got something here. And that's what sparked that love of writing and words for me.
Yeah, that's powerful. Powerful, man. So G, before we ask you, we jump in, if you could just let like the viewers and listeners know like some of the hats. That you wear, man. If you could put it in a little nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, where do I start, man? It's the hats is the journey. If that makes sense. The journey has been the hats to the point where I got to where I am now. So first and foremost, I'm a football coach. I've been coaching for the last 8 years full time, which I've been privileged enough and thankful enough to be able to travel around the world due to football. I've always done football since young. My first memories was 1998 World Cup back in Albania, watching it with my granddad. So that was my first memory of it, and going outside, and we didn't have a lot of resources, and again, creativity came in place. Had a white shirt and just put Ronaldo at the back with a pen and just kicking ball. So the football's always been part of my journey, and there was a period in my life where I stopped playing football and kind of fell out of love with it. And then business, I've always seen my mum, my dad, always create something out of nothing. So I've seen that from them, and I've been fortunate enough to create businesses. I had a car rental company when I was 21. So I've always been part of just the entrepreneurial mindset. By that time, I didn't know that's what it was called. It was just business, just make things happen. To the point now where we're in the space as well. Been fortunate enough to create a studio where people can come in and have conversations and put it out there to the world. So this is one of the ventures that I'm involved in. Football pitches. I've got football pitches that we rent out as well. And overall, me as a brand as well, like you said, Doc, it's just like sharing my experience of life. So I always have coaches that just message me on Instagram and ask me about the direction of, you know, becoming a coach. As, you know, I've done the work over the years and, build up on my badges and things like that. So still got a long way to go, but I've been privileged enough to work with big clubs over the years and experience, you know, coaching in Oman, in the Middle East, Bahrain, in Italy, in the UK. So yeah, it's definitely, travel has definitely opened up my mind and helped me to find different hats as well. So to the point now, as I'm getting older, it was my birthday the other day, so yeah, just financial literacy, man. Trying to learn that myself now as well. So investing in things and stocks and all of that. So it's like a lot of things that I'm diving into because, my parents did the best that they could for what they had and the education that they had. But I would like to just take it to that next level because I feel like I'm dishonoring them and the work that they did if I just keep it at the same level. And I want to take that generation to the next level, you know, God willing, when, you know, have my own family. Man, so that's just, a little bit about me, man. I'm just diving into different sectors.
I love when you said the hats that I wear are the journey. Like, can't put man in a box. Man's multifaceted. I'm nuanced. There's layers to this. There's levels. I think Pusha T says in the song, levels and layers. You know. So love that. So as you know, obviously you're not a guest. You've been in the living room all the time with us. So we ask everyone if they were in therapy and had to see a therapist tomorrow, what would they talk about? And what would they hope to get from the session?
The thing is, I've like I said, I'm behind the scenes and I've heard these questions before. But that's a deep one again. It's a deep one again.
Scuba gear.
Diving. I would like to unpack the little boy inside of me. I think we all carry that through life. So I would like to unpack that. What has he gone through that I'm carrying now? That can you identify that in terms of my actions to this day? Like, I'll be open. Like the other day on my birthday, it was a beautiful looking at a Caldera view in Santorini, and it was just there with me and my wife, and I shed a tear because I was like, that little boy, you can let go of him now. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of actions that I've made or decisions that I made throughout life is because of that little boy being scared and being told, oh, you can't talk. Because when we moved here in 1998, we was refugees, you know. Remember coming in the back of the lorry, like, don't say a word, be quiet, do you know what I mean? Because if you talk, someone might hear us, do you know what I mean? And then throughout my childhood, it was like, the door answers, don't open it. Phone rings, don't answer it. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, my mum and my dad, obviously, they sacrificed their life. Like, my dad's a musician. He sacrificed his life to basically give us a better life for me and my younger brother. And there'll be times where in the house, it'll just be me and him. And I would have to look after him. So I was like, yeah, you have to set aside your childhood and look after your little brother. And again, things like, don't speak. People ask you, don't say nothing. Like, you have no voice, basically, do you know what I mean? So it was like, I've seen that carry throughout my adulthood life, I guess, you know what I mean? And my wife's going through that journey of becoming a psychologist, therapist, etc. So I've seen her work and the help that she's given to me as well, you know, to kind of unpack a little bit. But like Doc said, I got to go full throttle. I need to, so going back to your question is, like, help me to unpack that little boy inside of me, what was going through, you know, I guess my mind during that time, you know, and why am I making certain decisions that I am now? Because I believe that it just doesn't happen like that.
No.
There's a reason why we make certain decisions. Obviously, the surroundings and, you know, your upbringing and all of that. So
I would say, as you just, it's, man, I felt it when you know, certain aspects that you were sharing there, I felt it in my chest. And it's And I guess feeling it myself is the holding, what you're holding inside. And I think when we think about that inner child work, right, see, it's the what would you tell the 8-year-old today? What would you tell? Because the thing is, as you know, I was doing the math, and you said it earlier, but I was still doing the math and said, okay, 8, right? 8, and thinking, okay, at the age of 8, being told, you don't say anything, and you know, and it's, I'm glad you say that because it's cross-cultural. Because, you know, from the Caribbean, from, you know, the British, you know, Caribbean, American, black families, you don't speak your business, you don't say nothing, you don't take our business outside of it. And then, but as you say, being a refugee, on top of that, what could you tell young Gerald today? You don't have to answer it right now, but you have to think about that.
Yeah.
That's powerful, though.
Yeah. And what would young G say? If he had,
because it would be a conversation.
Have
a conversation
with
powerful,
G and G.
Yeah.
But yeah, really appreciate the transparency and
come on, man.
Yeah.
And I think like we'll touch on a little bit, you know, about the journey. But if you had to give us a song that represents your childhood, what song would that be and why?
You're hitting me up with some questions right now, see, man. I'm thinking about it now, but the one that's in my face at the moment, I would say probably Survival of the Fittest, Mobb Deep. Yeah. Because again, it was, I guess even seeing my mum and my dad, it was like Survival of the Fittest. Like, we moved to Germany first when I was younger. So I was born in Albania, moved to Germany when I was like 1 year old, moved back to Albania when I was 4. So we spent like 3.5, 4 years there. Spent 4 years in Albania. So it was like just surviving. Where can you go to kind of have a better life?
Yeah.
And then when we came here, again, it was like, you know, my mum and my dad, they had to take a loan to bring us here. So it was like they're putting in the hours, and it's the survival of the fittest, who can last the longest here. You know what I mean? And not to say that I had a bad upbringing. They done a massive job, considering the resources that they had. But again, it was, who can last this surrounding, this community? Who can last it the longest? Because growing up now, and the reason why I say that song is a lot of my peers that I grew up with, they're not here no more. Whether they're locked up, whether they're 6 feet under, you know. So to be here, and again going back to the holiday, and being out there, and I guess the tears that I shed was, wow, the journey. I'm here. I'm here. I would have never thought I'm seeing this.
I'm here.
In the space that I was at a certain time in my life, you know. And it was like, this is, you're here, man. You survived I guess, the turmoil, the turbulence, like, you know, what came with being around that environment, the anger, you know. I'd say poverty to a certain extent, because we had food on our table every day. We had clothes on our back, you know. But yeah, man. So I'd say Survival of the Fittest. I'd say, even though that's a deep, deep tune, I'm trying to think more of a light-hearted, because there was times where I'm like, it was light-hearted as well. Do you know what I mean? You know, maybe a Will Smith song or something like that. You know what I mean? You know what I
wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, well, after what he did. But again, you know, we're human.
Come on, man.
We're human, man.
But G, I think like what you're saying is, you break the song title in half. You know, survival. You know, fittest of the fittest. You know, so to be surviving, some things have to be happening. And I love what you said, that you're here. There's that ownership of I'm here. If I was to remix it, it'll be thriving off the fittest, Carl. You're thriving.
Yeah, man.
You know, you're like just when we talk, the life, you know, that you speak about, the life that is in your, you know, your aura, that's in your, just interaction and energy, you know, and it feels like family is so important to you. That really kind of came out and resonated. So I just want to affirm and say, you know, like we said off the camera, you know, man's doing. Man's doing. And I think the track that you've referenced makes sense, you know, to you. And there might be other songs that represent other moments. But yeah, man's thriving and man's doing, man. So I've seen, bro, just from our interaction, you know. So I guess if you let us know, how did we meet? Just for the viewers to know. I think they need to know that one. Yeah.
I was going to dive into that, but seeing as you're seeing. Do you know what it is for me? Again, I'm an energy man. You know what I mean? I'm an energy man and
EDF.
EDF. EDF. Do you know what I mean? Even though the prices are high right now.
Come on, man. They're not joking.
Yeah.
Energy. Do you know what I mean? And you can't lie about that. You can't fake it. The exterior might be fake, but the aura and the energy, there's no way you can deny that. Do you know what I mean? So I remember Brendan. Shout out Brendan King.
Yes.
What a guy, man.
What a guy.
Just again, energy. Do you know what I mean? And even with Brendan, like I knew him from my younger days, from my playing side of football. I used to play football as well, so. You know, Brendan's doing his thing. I've travelled and coaching, etc. And even that, just connecting with him, you know, did a podcast with him. And that was our first connection that we've had in a little while. But it was like we spoke the other day. Anyway, you know, moved back to London. And then, Brendan just hit me up and he said, yo, I've got these two guys that want to do a podcast. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought if they're coming through Brendan, they must be good people anyway, you know. And at that time, we've just opened up our first studio. So it was exciting times, you know. It was exciting times for us. Challenging times, you know, coming back to London, you know, living in Oman. And I just remember, you know, I've had clients come in and it's just always been a quick, this is the space. Yeah, they're looking around. Oh, so how much is it? Oh, okay, cool. What's the packages like? All right, cool. 10, 15 minutes, if that. See these two guys walk in now, and I was like, this is different. This is different. This is not the usual that come in and just, the aura was different, the energy was different. And I remember we sat down, like, in the room, the first studio. And just hearing you lot speak about just the vision, you know, the vision and the occupation and the journey that you guys are doing, like resonated because, as I said earlier on, my wife's going through that journey as well. So I was like, this is, there's something happening here. You know, there's something happening here. And I think we spoke for about, I don't even want to. I don't want to put a number on it, but it was a long time. It wasn't the 10, 15 minutes. It wasn't an hour. It was a long time. You know, it was chopping about life and the safe space that you say as well, Dot, that you lot created when you came in. You know, I don't really open up like that to people. You know what I mean? No. But the fact that it came from a reliable source and the space and the safe space that you created when you walked in, I was like, this is something special, man. And again, it's gone beyond that client. It's brothers. You know,
you, man.
It's brothers, and you can't create that. It either happens or it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? So, man, that was a little bit of just how we met, and then since then, it's just been you know, went to your birthday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, chilling there, you know, connecting with your people, and then seeing that, you know, some of the people that you know, they've been in the same, you know, environment that I've been in, and so man, that's just, and then here we are today.
Come on, man.
Here we are today.
That's powerful, isn't it? I remember that, man, and I'm sitting here. I was like, wow. I remember you got a picture of me sitting on this couch at the other place, and I come across it the other day. I was like, wow, we've come a long way, man. We've come a long way, and thank you for that. That was just a trip down memory lane,
Come on, man.
And I was struck by how easy it was for G to open up to us, and as you rightly say, Brendan, you know, the connect. Yeah, love that guy.
And he came in as well, didn't
he? He came with Bex.
He came in with Bex.
Yeah.
And he was like, you lot all right? Yeah. He was like, bro, we've been chopping up for like hour and a half. Like, do you know what I mean? He was like, okay, cool. So
No, I remember that day.
Yeah, man.
G had the turtleneck.
Jesus. It was cold at times,
he had the turtleneck. He had the overcoat, the tobacco. The tobacco overcoat, and he had the ankles fitted and the loafers. And I just remember us talking about Mobb Deep and the locks. And then it just we spoke about everything. But that was I love what you said. You can't fake energy.
No, you can't.
You know.
You can't.
You can't. So if we just moonwalk back a little bit. You know, you've kind of touched on a little bit about, like, you know, being born in Albania and coming here, but like, just tell us a little bit about your journey. So you've come here as a young boy. You know, you're with the fam, with your brother. You know, there's this kind of, I guess, like, you know, adjusting, settling in, total brand new culture, different customs. Family are grafting and grinding like we will never know. And you're this young boy, you know, you've got responsibility of looking after young bro. So your big bro also may be operating in a caring, you know, fatherly role, and I'm sure little bro would have looked up to you, and you're adjusting. And then you've mentioned about what you're doing now, like, which is not survival, man's thriving and doing really well. And so in between, like, those ends of the spectrum, like, just tell us a little bit about the journey that has inspired you to have these different hats. So if we could, go back to,
I mean, like you said, adjusting has been a big part of my life, you know, since birth, I guess, you know. I guess all of us, like, for us to be here, you have to go through a lot of hurdles to get here.
That's right.
You know, so that's part of our makeup, that's part of our DNA. So a lot of my memories are when I'd say 7. Before that, 6, 5. I don't really remember a lot. Like, I watch videos of myself when my dad shows me we're in Germany and I'm speaking fluent German and that.
wow.
I don't understand what I'm saying.
Wow.
You know? So I've even I've lost the German in me, I guess. But moving here was, like you said, was adjusting, was new culture, new language, you know. Seeing Hackney for the first time when I came here. Mare Street.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. The old Mare Street.
The old Mare Street.
Yeah.
And seeing that and getting on a double-decker bus, and I was like, they got this here? Like, they got this here? Like, you know, going to the front of the bus and, you know, just thinking, wow, this is immense. Like, we don't have this back home. Do you know what I mean? And then getting to, like I said, Mare Street and looking at pavements and lines on the roads and everything looks organised and there's lights and shops, and seeing Tesco's at that time and thinking, I didn't know it was Tesco's at that time, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, whoa, what is this? Like, I asked my dad, what is this? Seeing a big, obviously now I know it's Tesco's, but I see the big letters and that's supermarket. I'm like, whoa, supermarket. Like, to me, this was all Disneyland, like being innocent and seeing, you know, Hackney at that time, you know, there's a lot of things happening, but as a young boy at that time, I'm like, this is paradise to me. Right. You know? Right. Coming into this place very innocent, you know, and and very much so like excited for the future and thinking that the possibilities are endless here, you know, that there's things to do here. As I got older, like you said, you know, having the responsibility to look after my younger brother and, I guess becoming older than what I was.
Yeah.
You know, and having that responsibility to look after, I guess, you know.
What's the age difference?
3 years. 3 years. So he was 5 when we first came here. And as we've got older now, it's like we're not as close as we used to be. You know, thinking about it now, it's I guess as I was getting older, I kind of parted ways because I wanted to be that young person myself, do you know what I mean? Looking back at it now, you know, I didn't really have the opportunity to be that young person. So yeah, going through that journey and, you know, we moved to Stamford Hill after that, which again was a different ball game. We lived in Homerton for a year. So that was, again, survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. Remember going to school there, Morningside, and, you know, not being able to speak a word of English, you know, people coming up to you or young people coming up to you and saying something, laughing, running away and thinking, what's they could have said anything. I don't know what they've said, you know what I mean? So remember, you know, moving to Stamford Hill after that, going primary school there, speaking a little bit more English, just a little bit. I remember I had a guy called Mr. Khan. He's passed away now, but he would take me to, you know, I don't know what they call it these days, but I guess not the special needs class, but I guess the supporting environment, supporting classes, you know, to help me like with my English and things like that. And it'd be like a few of us in there.
It's kind of like ESO.
Yeah. So didn't mean to offend anyone by saying special needs and that, but so I remember just being in there, just learning and being isolated away from the rest of the groups and just learning, I guess, English. So a lot of time was spent like in isolation, do you know what I mean? So it's from school, going to this class, and then we'll go, obviously, playground, and people come up to you, say something, run away. And then at home, you're isolated because you're not allowed to, you know, interact with other people, etc., because you don't want to share information. You know, as refugees at that time. So a lot of time was in isolation, I guess, do you know what I mean? And then, like Stamford Hill itself is a interesting place. People haven't been there before. So it's predominantly a Jewish community. So again, to see how that community worked together was an eye-opener as well, because they were all like together, where my family's all split. We're all, you know, I've got family in America, I've got family in Sweden, I've got family in Italy, we're all divided, you know. Similar, I guess, to the Caribbean culture as well, you know, where everyone's divided. So it was just, you know, me and my brother, you know. We didn't have no other family here. So we kind of, again, we just make do, survive the fittest again, you know, just getting on with things. To the point where football was my escape. Football was my escape, you know, playing football. And I guess that football opened up the door to me being cool. Because prior to that, I was not cool. I was not cool, you know, I didn't, you know, it was very much so what my mum's just, this is what you got to wear and whatnot, do you know what I mean? Not cool, you know, shoes, white socks, not an MJ thing, do you know what I mean? We're not doing that. You don't do that no more. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, growing up, like, I wasn't a cool guy, you know, I had a lot of like acne at that time, so I was very conscious of my appearance and things like that. Very, very shy, you know, not talkative. So I was very like in my own space and whatnot. So I'm sure whoever probably remembers me like from primary school now, they're probably thinking this is a 360 because I was different, do you know what I mean? But going back to it, football was my escape, you know. Football was the thing that was like, oh wow, he can play ball. Who's this boy? He's actually good. Like, and that's what kind of integrated me into like, I guess, the popular kids in my environment. You know, as I got older, secondary school, you kind of have to restart again, don't you? Secondary school, where you like, you know, you got the older people, the older students in the school, and you know, you have to adjust to a new environment again, adjusting to a new environment. And it was only till like year 9 where one of my good friends, shout out Ramon Ashley. He saw me play football, and I wasn't a student that used to get in trouble. Like from year 7 to year 8, year 9, I was head down, focused. You know, corridors. I'm not looking left and right. I'm going straight to my class. Do you know what I mean? I was not that guy. So anyway, he's seen me play. Like, I guess playground football or something. Anyway, the head of year's coming to my class and is like, can I speak to Gerald, please? So I'm thinking, my heart's beating, I'm sweating. I'm thinking, what have I done? I've like, teachers don't call and
they don't know
head of
me.
year. Thinking, whoa, what's happened here? Like, again, but then things are like, I'm thinking, right, you know, does he know? You know, like, my heart's beating. I'm thinking, what's going on? Like, why does he want to talk to me? Like, anyway, he was like, one of the students, Ramon, he said that you're a good footballer. So when he said that, I was like, okay, cool, I've calmed down a little bit. And then from there, he's just like, yeah, we want to be part of the school team and blah, blah, blah. And again, that's where I kind of integrated with, you know, people within the school. And I was known as, G's just a football guy. You know, he's just a footballer. That's it. Like, you know, when we did like the end of year book, like who's gonna make it as a footballer or whatever, like, yeah, G's gonna make it as a footballer, you know. At that time, there wasn't the same opportunities that there is now, you know. So, but again, if you didn't really make it to the age of 16 somewhere, it was difficult, you know. You seen Wayne Rooney just doing things for Everton in the Premier League against the Invincibles, against Arsenal and whatnot, at 16. If you're not doing that, boy, forget it. You know, so it was very, very difficult at that time. And I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but
that's good.
Yeah, so I just remember, you know, going through school and playing for my county. And my county, the county's basically, you know, all the best players within that county. So I used to play for Middlesex County, so you had guys from different boroughs and whatnot. So I played for my district, which was Haringey. So all the schools in Haringey, the best players would play together. And then the county was like, the bigger borough. So we had like people from Harrow, just Middlesex. Anyone that was in the Middlesex like county, they were all part of it. And I was the only person in my school that got picked to play for that, for the county. And one of the teachers, he wouldn't allow me to go.
He's trying to block.
But again, I got to a space where, again, football kind of got to my head. And I was being the class clown now in school.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Now I'm getting attention from the opposite sex now. You know, my hair was growing and whatnot. Like,
so you're feeling yourself.
I'm feeling myself now, you know?
Yeah. Identity is being placed in football and
So all of that, all my identity is like football. I'm going to make it. I'm not listening to this teacher. I'm going to make it. It's cool. And then, got to the county. And then from there, I got picked up by Northampton Town. So I was there on trial. But again, I got picked up quite late. I was like 15, turning 16. At that age, it's like, you're getting your youth professional contract it's at 16. So it's quite late, you know, I got picked up quite late. And there was, again, just another story as well, where I remember I played a tournament when I was a little bit younger. And there was an Arsenal scout that was there. And he gave me his card and was like, see, I can't speak to him directly, but he was like, where's your parents? My mum's never seen me play football. So I was like, yeah, they're not here. So he's like, well, give it to your parents and tell them to call me. So I remember I got home excited and I support Arsenal, and I was like, Mum, Dad, you know, this guy's giving me the card, can you give him a call? And they were like, nah, we're not calling him. Like, we don't know who he is. Do you know what I mean? We don't do that. We're not going to call him. So it was like things like that where it's just like, you know, what if, you know what I mean?
What did that feel like? Because I felt like when you described getting that card, it was like jubilation, excitement. It's your boyhood team that you support. You know, gone home to share the card with your mum and, you know, dad. Their response, what was that like for you?
I say disappointed, very, very disappointed. Because I guess it was their fear that was transferred to me. And I guess a lot of the fear that I have to this day is due to the fact of, you know, my upbringing and things like that. So, I'd say disappointment. And again, that fear, because as I got a little bit older, and there'll be teams to come and watch me, my manager would say, oh, like Chelsea's here to watch you specifically, or you know, this club is here to watch you specifically. I would shut down. I'll get nervous because I'm thinking, am I good enough? Like, I'll start questioning myself, you know.
Whilst you're on the pitch.
Whilst I'm on the pitch. So I guess looking back at it now, things like that, saying no was probably internalized, like, oh, I'm not good enough then, you know, to go to an establishment, you know, a team like that. So, yeah, I think I've just unpacked that here, you know. I've unpacked that here, I've unpacked that right here myself, like, well, from
in real time.
In real time. So yeah, man.
And what position was you playing?
So I started off as a striker, and then I dropped into centre midfield after that.
So you were hitting, banging,
I was
scoring.
I was quick, and then I guess as I got older, I'd look up to like players like, obviously I used to love Henry, but Bergkamp and like the Zidanes and the way they see the game, and when the ball gets to them, it's like the whole game slows down and they see different pictures.
So you're the general, man.
So I loved that. You know, I loved that. I loved the fact of assisting more than scoring. So like at first, you know, when you're young, you want to score and, you know, but as I got older, I loved just assisting and being the orchestra behind the scenes, you know. Can
I jump in?
Please do, bro.
I think that role where you've gone from being the striker to the assister, two players that you reference, the Bergkamp, the Zidane, I think that's a reflection of who you are as a person. You know, they have football IQ, they have intelligence, and they're intuitive. They're doing the pass, and they have the balls. Bam! I know you're there. They read the game. You mentioned behind the scenes, the stuff that you do. The thriving that takes place behind the scenes. You're not a man that's, hey, look at that would have been the striker position. So I think that's a representation of you, and I see that in the here and now in your being. So I just wanted to offer that. So family, football, these opportunities are opening up. You know, positions changed. Talk us a little bit like what's you know, what comes next?
This is where the song "Survival of the Fittest" is comes into play, because the environment again, you know, it shapes you, you know. Like looking back at it now, the people that I was around, they're obviously going through their own things and their journey, and you know, their dynamics of life, trying to survive as well. You know, so there'll be times where people take my kindness for weakness as well, and take things away from me and whatnot. And because I wasn't that character, I would just allow it. I would lie because I didn't want the trouble, because I'm hearing my parents, if you do something, they might send us back. You know, don't do nothing. Relax. Don't retaliate. Don't do nothing. And again, because of my deep down character, I was just laid back. I was... You know, all I cared was about football. That's all I cared about. And then it goes back to the 16, you know, 15, 16 years of age. As a young man, you know, you need that guidance and you need that support from not just your family, but your community, you know. And at that time, my grandma passed away as well, which, was hard on my dad, because he wasn't able to go back. For the funeral and things like that. So it was challenging, and I kind of lost a piece of him. Wow. You know, as a person, because again that's the most heartbreaking thing, I guess, that you know you're not able to go there and you know bury your mum. So it's hard. And as I get older now, at that time I was angry, but as I get older now, I understand, you know, the sacrifice that he took for us. And I saw a difference in terms of my well-being and the way that I approached life, you know. Didn't care about football no more. The environment shaped me to become angry and be rebellious, you know. I got released from Northampton. They said, oh yeah, you know, thanks but no thanks sort of thing. Stopped playing football. was looking for a new identity now, adjusting again to this new identity because I didn't make it.
Right.
I didn't make it. Like, so who am I now? What's around me? Seeing the guys that are doing, you know, the things that we shouldn't be doing, thriving in my eyes. You know, I'm seeing them, big cars, watches, and you know, they're the cool guys. They're getting all the attention from the females. What are you lot doing? Just got roped up into that life where, again, looking for that identity, looking for that support, because I felt like, you know, I'm by myself here. You know, I need a tribe myself. You know, I need a belonging somewhere. Yeah, and then from the age of like 16 to I say about 19, no sport whatsoever. Like disassociate myself from like football, you know, smoking, drinking, going out partying, abusing like my body with going with this person, that person, and taking on energies and getting roped up into things that I am not this character, by the way, but I believed it in my head. No, this is you now. This is your identity. Because your environment, this is your environment. You have to either sink or swim. And I've had enough of just sinking. I need to swim now. I have to retaliate. I'm not this pushover no more. You know? Find myself in the wrong side of the law, you know, getting in trouble with the police every other week and finding myself being held into holding cells and, you know, seeing my peers go for a certain time and, just really diving into a world that was not me. Was not me, but my environment, I guess, made me think, this is the person that you are. You didn't make us a footballer, so this is another route. Because he's got the stuff that you want anyway. Why don't you just do that? And then to the point where, well, I was hospitalized. I was stabbed, and then that was it. Really, that was it for me. I remember just laying in that bed in hospital, not being able to move whatsoever. You know, fractured skull, everything, sitting there. I'd even tell my mum and my dad I was in hospital. I'd even because I was just disappointed that I've got to this place. Because throughout the whole time, I'm just giving them hard time. Just. They're probably thinking, what is going on with this person? You know? So from there, I was just said, you know what? You need to fix up, man. Because your mum and your dad didn't just do this journey for you to be just unraveling in this way, you know? You got a younger brother, you got to, you know, set an example. And funny enough, my brother, he came to my house that night as well when I went out and the incident happened. But he said, he wants to stay, he wants to chill and whatnot. So it was cool, stay, relax, you know, 3 yards, you know, do what you need to do. I remember went out with me and a couple of my boys and the incident happened and it could have gone completely different because when I spoke to the doctor in the morning and he said if the knife went in a little bit deeper, you would not be here.
Wow.
So count your blessings right now. And from there, I was like, I need to change. But it wasn't a smooth transition. It wasn't a smooth transition because I was like, I can't just let this go. You know, this where I'm at. And then, bumped into, again, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Dan, from Stamford Hill as well. And we just connected, man, through football. Because he'd gone through his journey and he went back into football. And I was like, what do I really want to do? And it was football. Football was always just coming to my mind. That's all you've done, you know. Football is you. Right. And from there we connected through football. We went through a journey, which is again we could talk about it another time, but we went through a journey of like, you know, rebuilding again as a person and using football as a tool to kind of push my energy in a positive way. Right. And from there, just gone through like the non-league circuit and, you know, played football. That's where, you know, connected with Brendan and, you know, a lot of people that I've connected to this day was through football. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to play full-time football in Cyprus, which was a blessing. Like, I remember it was on my birthday. I was told, you either come tomorrow or that's it. And it was like a last minute decision. And it was on my birthday. I said, you know what? Let me go for it. Went out to Cyprus and yeah, it was an interesting journey. Again, it helped me to become independent as well, because it was like my first time away from family and having to deal with things by myself.
Right.
Yeah, and then that was it. Played football, you know. Stopped playing at the age of 22, I'd say. Again, the abuse of my body over the years kind of took its toll on me. You know, just getting injuries left, right, and centre. And again, it's not just the injuries. Bottom line was, you haven't played for the last couple of years. You know, there's people that's trained and they've been doing the work. You can't just come into this setup and think that, you know, you still got it. So the fact that, you know, I got 1 year out of playing football every single day and getting paid, I think that internally helped me as well, because for a very, very long time I was very bitter towards football. I was very, very bitter towards myself as a person, because I didn't accomplish what I wanted to. And even though I didn't get to the higher heights of playing, it was like, at least you got something that you can say, you know what, you got a year out of pro football, you played, you know, in Cyprus. It was every day, like I said, waking up, training, going to, you know, going matches, fans there, and experienced it to a certain level, you know. So the transition, I guess, to coaching was a lot easier than just, you know, going straight into coaching without having to experience that side of things. So there's a lot that's I've probably missed, not probably, that I've definitely missed, especially that period of like just from 16 to 19 was like I guess I was hypnotized, man. Yeah.
As you were talking, these words came up and I just put them in my phone. So the concept of family, that's been a reoccurring theme. Fear, football, so friends,
4 Fs.
Friends, foundation. So the foundation being, who am I? You know, so after football, you know, you mentioned about your identity, and then through friends and being exposed to certain things, you know, whether that being exposed to like hood fame and hood finances, so fame and finances. Then that moment when you're in the hospital, feeling like you may have failed your family to the point where you didn't even want to tell them, like what that would have been like for a young man. And then the fuel, Dan was like a petrol, jumps, fuel in the tank. And then finding myself, you know, just like, and you say you may have left out some stuff, but what you have shared, just like, it really connects where you say, this is linked to the hats that I wear.
But all of those F's, man, the wordsmith for true, right?
We said it from the beginning.
The framework. So you just bring it all together, and you have a framework for your life, and that is so rich, so powerful, and I think it gives the listeners, gives us, you know, and the viewers that insight into your life that has made you the man who you are today. You know, but it was for me, what I heard was it was the rawness of coming here, the recognition that you have for the sacrifice that your parents, because for I'm sure others who've had that experience, there's still bitterness and some twistedness from, you know, what they didn't get from their parents and so on and so forth. But the way that you frame it and the way that you look at it is, I have to recognize they sacrificed so much for me to be able to be here and to be free and to have the opportunities that you did have. And then to think, I can't go out like this. I have to do more for my life, you know, with my life, to really honor them. So thank you, man. I'm blessed to really to sit here and to listen to what you just said, and man, I'm touched, man.
Thank you, Dom, man.
Yeah, and I believe the listeners and viewers will be touched and inspired and be able to connect to different elements of what you've just shared. And I think what you said, framework, like you are it feels like you are using and the framework of your life, the experiences, what you're using at this stage of your life, in the in the thriving stage. So if we kind of like stay with the thriving element in the here and now, like, you know, what's day to day like for Coach G, and what's day to day like day to day life like for you now, in a nutshell.
More peaceful.
Yeah.
More peaceful. Like, I feel a lot more peaceful. I feel more together. And the journey's still, you know, I'm still on that journey to finding myself a little bit more. But I feel more peaceful. I feel more together. I feel more supported, and having an amazing wife that's beside me to hold me as well, you know. To hold me and say, you got this, man. You got this. Like, the support, you know. My day-to-day, just blessed, bro. Blessed. Like, again, just blessed. Wake up every single morning. I'm like, there's days where I'm like, oh, man, I need to do more. I need to do more. But it's like, no, you're here. You're here now. You're here for a reason. Like, it's part of the journey. You're doing the work.
You are.
You're doing the work. So the time will come. And going back to what you said, though, time. You know, when you're younger, you don't really think about it. You want it now, especially in this generation, you know. You want it instant. You know.
And I think, sorry to cut you, I think the power of your lived experience when you're engaging with young footballers and coaching, like, you're coming from a different place, like, you know, whether that is the young person who's a little bit unconfident, or the young person that is feeling themselves because of football, or feeling themselves because of what's going on for them out off the pitch, you know, if they think they're a little bit, you know, roadish, if I could use that as a term. So I think you're able to use your experiences that were never in vain to impact the lives of others, and you are doing it, you know, just from our conversations. So how qualified you are to be in that space. You talk about the football pitches that you rent out, like like you're given space. We know what football does, like recreational activities do for the mind, the body. We know football brings people together. So like, even, you know, how football is still a tool in your life, and how you're utilizing it. And I think the word bitter, we use it, like that there's no bitterness, and how you've made football work for you. And I think there are going to be young people, young adults, even grown individuals that football may have not gone the way they wanted it to go, and there could be some residue of disappointment and, you know, pain, and feeling like football let them down, and some anger. And I think how you've spoken and shared your story can give hope and inspiration that football doesn't have to be an op. It doesn't have to be an enemy. Actually, there are different avenues to utilize the game of sport, you know, which so many of us love. So I think unknowingly what you shared today would speak to a demographic, and then even outside of people wanting to, you know, be footballers, people who had goals and desires and dreams, how they still can make them come alive, but maybe not the way they thought it would be. They're different. Not everything's conventional. There are different routes. So I think on as we kind of wind down under that kind of premise, if you had any words of encouragement for anyone that's listening or watching, is there anything on your heart you would want to share with them?
Yeah, I'd say the road is never smooth. You know, our heartbeat is not smooth. If our heartbeat was smooth, we're dead. We're dead. So if our internal, the most important part of our body, is up and down, your outer world's going to be the same. You're going to have high points, you're going to have low points, You're going to go through the hurdles. And for us to still be here, it's not the first hurdle that we're going through. You know? Yeah. So again, it's keep jumping over those hurdles. Keep jumping over those hurdles. You might fumble the first one. Get up. Go again.
That's a powerful metaphor, right? Powerful metaphor. The heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I would also say, you know, when you mentioned, you know, I had a year of playing professional football. For some, they would have said it wasn't enough. But the way that you reframed you reframed it and said it was enough, and what I got out of it, I got so much out of that year, and it's like that. What do we say? It's the scaffolding. You know, the scaffolding you've just built on top of that, and to the man you are today. So I like the way you reframe that, man. We need to do that more ourselves. It's the reframing of our thoughts, our behaviors, our actions, in order to become to modify, you know, that internal response to things that happen to us. 100%. You got to do it, man. Reframe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's not easy though.
No, come on, man.
It's not easy, man. Because I still find myself, I don't like that. Or you're thinking, no, but there's a lot of good. Why are you focusing on that? You know?
Yeah.
If I was to, I know we're winding down. If I had, you know, sometimes with students, we have a rich, you know, I gave you the template, you know, the framework of an evening, seminar skills, GTS, group training supervision, and the PD, right? Those 4 things. And it's full, 4.5 hours, right? It's full, you know, right? It's full. So we get to the end, and sometimes we've done the PD in the seminar. So we got to the end now and said, well, let's check out. One word checkout. And my one word today would be, I am humbled, man. I'm humbled for what you shared there. So
appreciate it, humbled.
Man. Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
I said a lot in that there in order to get there, but
Context is
yeah. Yeah.
My one word. Full. Full of insight. Feel like I've learned much more about my brother. Oh yeah. Yeah, full.
I would say light. I would say light because some of the stuff that I was sharing, you know, doing it in this setting as well, it's like, all right, cool. I've taken something out of my backpack. Feeling a lot lighter now. And going back to what I said in terms of not speaking, it's like that's the culture, it's the environment that we're in, especially as men. Don't speak, don't show your emotions. So I guess opening up and, you know, being vulnerable, I feel a lot lighter. And I encourage a lot more people, but young men in particular, to find that tribe and speak. It's not easy because you don't want to just talk to anyone and anyone.
That's right.
No, you can't.
Find your tribe and speak. And there's a lot more work that I want to do internally. And, you know, we spoke about therapy and whatnot. And that's something that I'm excited to start as well, therapy, and just unpack those things. And I feel like our community, we don't have access to those things. So having brothers like yourselves who our community can identify with, it makes it a lot easier to speak. So I just want to big you guys up and the work that you guys are doing and putting it out there to say, you know what, no, you can look like me and be a therapist. It's not gatekeeped. We can create our own. We don't need you over there. We'll do our own thing. We can do that.
Respect.
That's the beauty of it is, you know, the power of the internet as well. It allows us to do that and share this message as well. So
bless you, man.
I want to thank you two as well for giving me
brother.
the space. Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Infrared for the
Infrared,
Sean RH.
yeah.
Sean RH.
LimeWire thing.
Come on, jeez. LimeWire. MSN. Come on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You know, what an honor and privilege. To just share this space with my brothers and friends. And, you know, I think the viewers and listeners would have seen, you know, elements of therapy in real time without it, you know, being intentional. It's just therapeutic space. And, you know, we say season 3. You know, we've agreed, we've contracted, we are hearing that it's needed. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all the guests that have been a part of,
Amen.
you know, season 2, brothers and sisters that have given up their time. So, guys, the listeners, viewers, just want to say, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that bell. And we just want to thank you for following and journeying with us. We do this for you, and we get something from it ourselves as well.
Likewise.
So it's a vice versa mutual exchange. But if it has blessed you, please do let us know and leave a comment. And we look forward to seeing you on season 3. As Curtis Mayfield says, keep on keeping on.
Amen.
We'll see you then. Bless.
Can I add as well, this behind the scenes? I'm putting pressure on these two. If you want to see a live show, leave a comment below. Because I feel that whoever comes to the live show is going to benefit from seeing these two artists at work. So if you want a live show, leave a comment below. And we'll make it happen.
Whoa.
Wow.
Come on.